Hello everybody, and welcome to this week's The Story of a Poor Boy. I'm Mikey.
I'm Matt.
And this week there's a lot for us to get through. So we're going to look at Liverpool finally somehow deciding to plumb for a world-class goalkeeper. Out of the blue, it was meant to be dead.
Who you don't like, I think is rubbish, and I'm going to make you eat your words. It's going to be great.
I think he'll make me eat my words before you do, to be fair.
Yeah, probably.
But I wasn't all that pleased when we were linked, but then we start lashing £60 million bids around and a man can change. We've got that to talk about. We've got the pre-season friendly against Blackburn that happened the same night. Not that anyone was watching, everyone was refreshing Twitter, I think, at this point. We've got...
You can have multiple tabs open.
Yeah. Well, we've got to talk about how good Naby Keita was in particular in that. There was a members ticket sale for the first half of the season.
Atrocious, as per usual.
Yeah, as per usual, as Matt says. And we've also got Mane changing his shirt number. So, yeah, lots to get through. So let's start at the beginning. Always a nice place to go. Alisson is a Liverpool player.
It's good, isn't it?
It's strange. It's so strange.
Danny Ward was number one for about 2 days.
I feel so bad for Danny Ward, but he's now Leicester's number one instead. When Schmeichel eventually goes, I mean, it just kind of happened. Alisson, we were all told, don't expect Liverpool to go for a goalkeeper. Well, we were told by a couple of journos anyway, don't expect Liverpool to move for a goalkeeper. We've been priced out of all of our number one targets. It's not happening this window. And now...
And then it did.
Liverpool have set the world record for the goalkeeper. And we've went big on Alisson Becker. I mean, what can you say about the fella, except for the fact that he's absolutely fucking massive.
He is huge. Like, his
he's about
first day at Liverpool, first day at Melwood video. He's massive. Like, when he gave Michael Edwards a hug. Yeah. My God.
Do you know what? I think he's shorter than Mignolet. And just a bit taller than Karius, but it's his frame. He's just stocky. He's just huge, and he takes a lot of the goal up. He's agile, from what I've seen. But I mean, I will fully admit, and I've said it before, and there's previous episodes to listen to. From what I've seen of him, he's not impressed me. But I've seen a snippet. I put a tweet up to that effect a couple of weeks ago. A lot of Liverpool fans were like, "Yeah, I probably agree." A lot of Roma fans found it and were just like, You don't know what you're talking about, kind of thing. And I mean, I said things about him without actually properly watching anything other than the Liverpool game, Champions League semi-final, and then watching him at a World Cup where he's under pressure with Ederson behind him.
Yeah.
He's the best goalkeeper available to Liverpool. Are you happy?
It's fucking exciting, isn't it? Yeah, I am very happy. I said last week I was worried if Danny Ward was going to be number one, being a relatively unknown, and our two other knowns being Karius and Mignolet, who just aren't good enough, frankly. We've seen that is the biggest weakness, and we spent big to fix it, like we did with Van Dijk at centre-back.
Definitely.
We had to wait a bit, but we got our man, and same with this. Maybe had to wait until after the World Cup, but... Klopp got his man, and I'm so excited for this season going forward. That spine that Klopp has put together of Alisson, Virgil van Dijk, Fabinho, Keita, and Firmino up top, that is a strong spine. And that's not even mentioning Henderson and the fast lads and Lallana.
There's a lot going.
Strong spine.
There's a lot going on around that spine. It's the strongest Liverpool spine has looked since 2009.
Yes.
Which was famously Reina, Carragher, Alonso, Mascherano, Gerrard and Torres. World class throughout, all of them. Fantastic footballers in their own right. Liverpool now have had to go about it a different way than we did then. So obviously that team, there's two homegrown talents in there. Reina was 7 million. Although when you adjust that for inflation, apparently Reina's about 50 million now.
Yeah.
Like if you were to buy the same keeper now. which is madness.
How much was Buffon just for inflation?
About 200 million.
Jesus
apparently.
fucking Christ.
Well, I mean, the thing is, Juve have proved that
it was well worth it.
It was well worth it. You know, they got one of the greatest goalkeepers of all time for most of his career. But the point I was going to make about the 2009 team is when you look at what was around that team in the full-back positions, Liverpool never really had a left-back settled. Right-back, Arbeloa was good. Finnan was utterly dependable footballer. But Dirk Kuyt, exact same story, utterly dependable footballer, but he's not going to set the world alight.
No, he wasn't the most talented of footballers, but he was my favourite.
Yossi Benayoun, Albert Riera, filling these gaps in around the team, and
we've got a lot more talent around this spine now. I think,
exactly, and you've got Trent Alexander-Arnold, who's probably one of the most exciting prospects in world football at the moment, and that's not just me as a Liverpool fan saying it. His crossing is fucking superb.
I'm glad the rest of England finally got the chance to see that as well.
Yeah,
like when he played that dud game against Belgium.
I feel
they got to see his crossing.
I felt a bit bad for him though,
because
his set pieces weren't great that game. But it's one of those games, I guess. Yeah. But I mean, you got him, you got Andy Robertson, who proved himself to be utterly dependable, and going forward, he's got so much potential. His ceiling's so high. He could be fantastic. Dejan Lovren is the best centre half in the world.
He is.
Self-proclaimed. And then you've got Henderson, Lallana, Wijnaldum, Milner, Oxlade-Chamberlain, all to fill in that gap. Next to Fabinho or Keita or Fekir. We'll get on to that later.
Yeah, we'll get on to that.
And then Mane and Salah of either side of Firmino. Do you know what I mean? There's so much ability in this team in every position you look at now, and you know there's a bit more depth to it now as well.
Like with Shaqiri
coming in particular adds that depth. Daniel Sturridge somehow seems to be dragged himself back into Jurgen Klopp's thinking. Looks like the player that we used to remember, which will make it all much harder when he gets injured in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And Lazar Markovic has pulled himself out of somewhere.
No, I'm not entertaining this thought.
I'm joking.
He did play the other day where could someone just buy him? Please.
I'm joking. I'm sure Markovic will. I'll be very impressed if Markovic plays any Premier League football for Liverpool this season. That's all. But yeah, I mean, looking at the team we have there, there's plenty of reason to be excited going forward now, and with Alisson now as part of that spine. It's an expensive spine. It's cost us a lot of money to put that spine together, but
that's what it takes now. It seems.
Unfortunately, that is the way football is now.
This is the most exciting Liverpool squad. Probably the strongest Liverpool squad I've seen in a long, long time. Maybe ever. I'm not sure. I've got to see them all properly play before I can properly make that claim. But it's a really strong-looking squad. Not just first 11 squad now.
The two teams that we've seen Liverpool have a proper crack at the league with were 2009 and 2014. So, I mean, compared to the 2014 squad, this squad it walks all over it as far as I'm concerned. I mean,
we're not bringing on Aspas.
Well, exactly. We're not bringing on Aspas. We're not bringing on Alberto. We're not having Ali Sissoko as our backup left back.
God. Yeah, all right. That's you one for the week. Reminding me of something terrible in our past. Ali Sissoko. Although, have you seen the Ali Sissoko highlight reel video that someone made for the 13-14 season?
I think so, yeah.
It is brilliant.
Yeah. Not for a while, but yeah.
I stumble across it about once a month, and it just makes me so happy. So happy.
Oh.
What a player.
Fucking terrible footballer. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Alisson. There's a point. I think Liverpool have had their hand forced a little bit by Chelsea in this.
Possibly.
We all heard rumblings about Courtois going to Real Madrid. Real Madrid weren't interested in Alisson. Apparently they terminated their interest because they've got a new striker they have to sign now.
This is true.
Due to what happened with Ronaldo. That's it, isn't it? They've had to turn around and go, we can't spend £60 million on a goalkeeper because we need to spend 170 million or whatever it is on a new attacker.
It's mad that Madrid don't feel like they can do both, though.
Well,
I found that weird.
Financial fair play's got everyone handcuffed, hasn't it? I mean, you saw what happened with AC Milan, where they nearly got banned from Europe.
True.
Got overturned. Their ban got overturned in midweek. But I mean, it could finally be having a good effect. Is what I was going to say.
Maybe.
You look at our spending. I think you have to spend like £80 million. Like you're allowed to spend £80 million improving the team, but the rest you have to recoup.
Mm-hmm.
So when you look at us selling Coutinho, it must balance out somewhere along the line.
Is this in a season or in a calendar year?
Fuck knows.
I'm sure they'll fudge numbers.
Yeah.
Like that. That's what
sure, it'll be. I'm pretty sure it's a season because you can't really work in calendar years or tax years in football, can you? Because the windows fall differently.
God knows.
Not a clue. But yeah, Real Madrid turn around. They've got to do something else now. So Courtois got a year left on his contract. He's probably going to Real Madrid. When we record this, he hasn't. Navas Hazard at the moment. But
God, I hope he does. Just leave. Just go away.
Well, I mean, Courtois.
I just want Chelsea to melt away into nothing.
Courtois' family still live in Madrid. He's going there. Chelsea, therefore, have had to turn around and go, right, we need a goalkeeper now. So who can we get in? All right, well, Alisson at Roma. All right, we'll have a look at him. And Liverpool have basically panicked, and it's like, if we don't get him now, then we aren't going.
It's literally now or never.
Yeah, and I think if Liverpool could have left it this summer if Real Madrid had been the only other team interested, and Real Madrid had just turned around and went, nah, not interested, we can't afford it, and either stayed at Roma for another season. Liverpool would have reassessed next year what's going on, what we can afford.
Price probably would have skyrocketed again though.
Probably, but I mean, in that time, you don't know what's happened at Liverpool. You don't know what sponsorships come in, kind of thing. You never know. But his price can't really go much higher anyway, to be honest, for a goalkeeper. We're talking about, we've doubled the record. Do you know what I mean? We haven't just passed the record. We've absolutely fucking smashed through it. Smashed it. It's the sixth. Is it the fifth or sixth time we broke our own transfer record in the last? Well, no, we broke our in the last year. Our previous transfer record was 35 million.
Yep.
In the last year, I think we've gone above that 5 or 6 times now. So
yeah,
Van Dijk, Keita, Fabinho, Alisson, and Salah.
Yeah, 5.
And Oxlade-Chamberlain, I think, is just above it. Someone from the Echo said he's cost 40 million instead of 35.
It's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it is nice to see your team spending money. Should we talk about Klopp's comments now?
Yeah, other fans don't like it. It's great.
Yeah, everyone else is fucking furious about it.
It's like, you said you were going to do this differently. You're just a checkbook manager now.
I don't fucking care. Jurgen Klopp. If Jurgen Klopp wants to spend money to improve his team, then Jurgen Klopp can spend money to improve his team. At the end of the day, he's made comments in the past, and we've all echoed that sentiment that we'd much rather Liverpool went about this as alright, we'll bring lads through the academy and we'll win the league like that. Can't do it in modern football. Modern football, you will be left behind if you don't go out and spend the money.
Yeah.
And we've proved that. We tried to do it cheap. We tried to do it by signing Stuart Down and Charlie Adam.
Yeah, like Moneyball. Tried all that.
Exactly. We've tried all that and it didn't fucking work for us. And you can't be successful with that attitude anymore, unfortunately. And I think Jurgen's realised that buying young talent and developing them is still very much on at Liverpool. Don't get me wrong, we aren't we aren't going about this the United way, where United have bought like Ibrahimovic, exactly, Ibrahimovic, Sanchez, Mata, what's it, like when they loan Falcao and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Just buying in players. Matic, that's the one I was looking for. Matic. We aren't getting in
finished products at the end of their lifespan.
Exactly. Liverpool
players that we're getting in seem to be just entering their prime. So I think most of our team is between the age of like 24, 26 now.
Yeah.
That's just entering prime. That is not buying a finished product. That is buying people that can still improve and that are properly building something and building a proper team.
Well, in Liverpool's first choice 11, now Dejan Lovren's the oldest player and he's just turned 30.
Yeah, that is brilliant.
Yeah, and that's exciting for a good couple of years.
Yeah.
In particular, because we can build on this. You know, we can take this forward, and it's no longer looking like Liverpool. Like I don't see us now. If, for example, we bring through Ben Woodburn, and he's a sensation the way Raheem Sterling was, and then everyone's going, but Man City might want him, and we lost them to Man City.
Yeah.
Liverpool now would not lose Raheem Sterling in the same position.
We're not that Liverpool anymore.
No, exactly. It's a very different club.
Since Klopp has come in, the last 3 years now, like it's such a different Liverpool. Obviously, it's a different looking team, but it just seems like a different Liverpool strategy. Yeah. I feel like everyone. So the problem with Rodgers was like there were loads of people pulling in different directions on where they wanted the team to go, what they wanted the team to look like, and just how to do things. Under Klopp, especially this year and last year, everything seems to be all pointing in the same direction.
Definitely.
So you've got Klopp and Linders and Edwards and Moore, and they all seem to just have like this one singular vision, which is just going forward, and they're doing it. They're doing it all together. It's fucking exciting. Exciting.
The thing I like about the transfer situation now, obviously we're going about and we're getting the targets, and that's fantastic, and that goes without saying. But one of the key things is Liverpool didn't really have key targets as such. We had criteria, if you like. So we looked and we went, okay, we need a winger. We need someone who's quick, someone who's quite young and we can develop forward. All right, well, what about Salah? What about Willian? What about even Eriksen? What about Alberto? What about Aspas? That kind of thing, do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. We just went out and we had criteria for it rather than targets. And now Liverpool don't really have that. Liverpool have, this is the man we are getting.
Yeah.
There's no plan B.
I still think that's going from the criteria though, but like it's not settling for second best anymore. Like you go from your criteria to a key target, and you're like, okay, him.
Yeah, of course.
And no one else.
You can't turn around and you can't plan a transfer window by just going, all right, I want that name. Because you end up with a team like United.
You say Mourinho, does it?
Exactly, this is what I mean. You end up with a team like United.
Yeah.
Whereas with Liverpool obviously, I'm not saying Liverpool don't still have those same criteria, but it's a lot more specific now to the individual rather than, all right, well, he ticks this box because he got X goals per game from this position. Whereas now Liverpool are happy to go, Xherdan Shaqiri, have a punt on him. You know, he fills this. But we can we've still, instead we're going to turn around and we're going to go, all right, Alisson Becker, he has a great distribution record, his saves per game record is off the charts compared to the other goalkeepers in Italy. All right, Liverpool, we want him. Have we looked elsewhere? Might have looked for Oblak, we were linked with Nick Pope, might have looked at Jack Butland. I'm so fucking glad Jack Butland is not Liverpool's.
Oh my god, me too. I'm so happy.
Fucking made up. I still can't quite believe it.
I feel like we should be celebrating that rather than like the Alisson signing.
Yeah.
Not signing Jack Butland.
It's truly, it's a massive statement. Is what it is. I mean, if you'd have said to me at the start of the window that this is what we end up with, then I'd have taken it.
Yeah,
hands down. Yeah. So I mean, this window's it's exceeded every expectation I had. I didn't expect Liverpool to be this on the front foot. I mean, we had to be, in some respects, the window's closing 20 days earlier.
Yeah, so everything's got to be a little bit more rushed, which is why I'm kind of surprised not many other teams have been active at all.
Yeah, teams who need it, in particular. the team across the park from Liverpool in particular.
I was thinking more like top 6, but yeah, we can talk about them if you want.
No, I mean you can talk about anyone in this. I mean, City have went out and bought Mahrez. Chelsea, no one really except for Jorginho. Yeah, who is probably going to be a direct replacement for Kante if Barcelona get him. I've not heard anything since that, to be honest. So if Kante does stay, then
well, they're still bidding for Willian as well, aren't they?
Yeah,
keep turning them down.
It'd be madness if Chelsea lost all those players. And then you look and Arsenal have done pretty well.
Yeah, Arsenal have done a few bits.
Yeah, covering what they need to. United have been quiet. Fred and the daughters is that his name?
I think so. Yeah. And Spurs, no one, literally.
Spurs, no one. They have tied down Kane and Son to long-term contracts, which
I'm gutted about Son wise because I really want Son.
In Liverpool fan speak, Liverpool fan of old speak, shall we say? That's like a new signing. That's as important a signing as a new signing.
Speak of old, Lallana's like a new signing.
No, but you know what I mean. Like when you tied down Coutinho in January 2017 when we got that done.
Yeah.
And then we all look around and we're like, that's the best bit of business we could do this window. And then he's gone a year later. Do you know what I mean?
That's fair.
Yeah, it stinks a little bit.
But Mane signing his new contract, like a new signing maybe. He's got a new number.
He has got a new number. He has. Alisson signing has kicked off a massive chain of events and changing numbers apparently by the looks of things. So Alisson has come in. He is the new number 1, which is horrible for Loris Karius. I feel so bad for him because if the message wasn't clear enough already that you are being directly replaced by Liverpool breaking the world record, they've literally taken the shirt off his back and went, Alisson, you have that lad. So Karius will now be Liverpool's 21, which means Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain has to move number. Don't quite know what he's going to.
I reckon to 19 now that Mane switched to 10.
I mean, I could see that, but I don't know because the reason 19 is not exactly special, and I don't think
it's a winger number to me. Yeah. But to be fair, he's a midfielder, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't think he's too arsed. I think the reason that it might not be done for a while because we don't know when he's coming back.
This is true. He's probably not going to be in the squad for the year, really, is he?
The upsetting thing as well is Karius having done that means that Chamberlain changing his number. There's going to be kids who will have Chamberlain shirts on it. The club must be fucking shelling out a fortune on these new replacement shirts. I don't know if any kids got Karius 1 on the back of their kits this season. The more optimistic
kids,
might have.
Weird kids.
Yeah. Mane 19, I mean, they're giving straight swaps for anyone who wants Mane 10 now instead. Chamberlain is going to have to be a straight swap as well. It's strange. It's really strange.
It is a bit weird.
And Fabinho still hasn't got his number. I mean, I think the theory is on Twitter at this moment, and I said this last week, that I think he's holding out for someone to leave.
Yeah.
It looks like it's Mignolet, because he wore number 2 at Monaco, and now Klein obviously being number 2. Klein's not going anywhere that we know of. You really can't just rule anything out like that in football these days. Didn't think Alisson would be a Liverpool goalkeeper a week ago, so. But yeah, apparently Fabinho's waiting for Mignolet to leave. So apparently Barcelona want him.
It's weird.
It is.
This is silly season. It's the epitome of silly.
It is, and Liverpool are making it silly. It's lovely. I love being responsible for it. Well done, Liverpool, for getting this over the line. Well done, Michael Edwards, for sorting all these transfers out. Alisson has got a lot to live up to now. It's a massive price tag, and there's a weight of expectation on him being the solution. And I can't remember the last time a goalkeeper came in at Liverpool with this much pressure on their shoulders to be the solution. Like, Reina comes in for Dudek, but Dudek's just left on a high. Maybe that's a bit of pressure for him. Well, he didn't leave on a high, he stayed on for another season, but he's just won the Champions League with a match-winning save, and then he's replaced. That's a bit of pressure.
Yeah.
But that was building for a while. Reina was only £7 million at the time, which, as we say, it's a lot of money now. It would have been a lot of money now. Sorry, it's not that much now. In real terms, should we say? It wouldn't have been that cheap these days. But I don't think Liverpool have had a goalkeeper with this much pressure on the shoulders in terms of expectation. Obviously, Karius has a lot of pressure on his shoulders for a different reason at the moment. But I think it'll be interesting to see how Alisson handles it. And from what I hear, he believes in himself a lot, and he's the kind of player who will thrive on that kind of situation.
I don't think we sign Alisson if we don't think he can handle
definitely.
The pressure of Anfield, the pressure of the expectation from the fans, the pressure of coming in to be the solution. I think we probably signed him because he will thrive on that. To come in and be the solution, like what Virgil van Dijk kind of was when he came in. We all wanted him so badly to be like that missing piece in defence to just calm things down and be the leader, and then he did it. I don't think we signed Virgil van Dijk if we didn't think that he could just do that and he could handle that. So I think we've done the same with Alisson. We wouldn't have signed Alisson if we didn't know that he can come in and thrive under that pressure.
And that'll be part of the research that goes into the decisions when they're picking exact targets out of, okay, this is our plan A, and the reason is because we think he can handle this weight of expectation on him. I think I've never seen him other than the 2 games for Roma against Liverpool when he conceded 7 goals across the 2. And in the World Cup, where he didn't cover himself in glory, but very few players for Brazil did, to be honest.
I don't think any keeper had a good World Cup, to be honest, though. So.
Jordan Pickford did.
There's a goal he should have saved, but he's got little arms. So.
He kept very few clean sheets.
I know.
He kept very few clean sheets. Courtois had a good World Cup.
He did.
He
did make a stupid mistake at one point, though.
Hugo Lloris did until the final.
Yeah. Goes to show every keeper's got that in him.
David De Gea in particular. Neuer lost the ball in the opposition's half.
That was hilarious. I loved that game so much.
I'm deadly excited. While we're talking about keepers taking risks, so we may as well talk about the highlight reel for Alisson of the risks he puts himself under.
Oh God! That's going to be fun, isn't it?
The cop will not take to that kindly at all. There's going to be a mass panic when he first does that, and look,
it's not Mignolet doing it, so I'm fine.
This is part of him being Plan A. At the end of the day, we've looked at him and he's confident with the ball at his feet, and he is basically a sweeper. And I know sweeper keeper gets lashed around a lot, but it makes a world of difference to have a goalkeeper who can distribute like he can with confidence.
Yeah.
Reina was the epitome of that. Reina did everything with a swagger when he was looking to get rid of the ball. There was no. I think Reina adds pressure to Mignolet and Karius in the fact that Pepe Reina would literally get the ball, sprint to the edge of the box and look for the kick straight away. And you see Mignolet and Karius start to do it a little bit more as they've progressed on, but it's never been their natural game, whereas you get the feeling with Alisson, he is the same kind of player who will just go, right, where's Salah, where's Mane?
Yeah,
ping,
boot. Yeah.
Ping.
Especially in this counter-attacking style that we're wanting to play.
Yeah.
It's going to be lovely.
It's
going to be a lot of balls going over the top to Salah, I think.
It's exciting, it really is. Yeah, I mean, I can't wait to see the fella. He is back on the same day as Bobby Firmino.
Yep.
And Shaqiri.
They will be meeting up with the squad in France. They're missing the US part of the tour, but they're meeting up in France.
Mm-hmm. There's a rumour Alexander-Arnold will be back the same day, I believe.
Really? Oh, I think Klopp said that because he's younger, he can have less time off. He's forced Henderson to have loads of time off.
Jordan Henderson.
It's like, Henderson, no, get out.
Jordan Henderson requested to come back straight away. And Jurgen Klopp said no, because you have a big season ahead of you and you need to have a 3-week
break. Go
on
holiday.
Minimum 3 weeks. So Jordan Henderson's had to be forced to go away.
I love how that story didn't come out about Lovren, because I feel like Lovren's still drunk.
Did you see the video on Twitter yesterday of Van Dijk on FaceTime with him? With Lovren.
It's cute, isn't it?
And just walking through the airport. I love Lovren.
He's probably still drunk.
He probably is.
What a guy.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
if you get to a World Cup final, you're allowed to get drunk.
Yeah, especially with Croatia, 4.5 million people. I think he's allowed to do whatever he wants, to be fair, in Croatia these days.
Best centre-back in the world. Love him.
Why not?
He needs to stick.
While we're talking about days in pre-season as well, you found this interesting figure this week, fatigue index. Do you know where it's from?
Someone made it on Reddit, and
Reddit, boo. Boo, Wendy,
I don't have the guy's name, but I will find it out, and I will post post thanks and stuff on Twitter and the Reddit.
So this is a figure just basically showing how many days of pre-season the main players in each of the top 6 squads will be having. If you see the image, green is good, we'll have the full pre-season. Orange has less pre-season but still enough, really. And red will probably not be at full fitness for a good couple of weeks going into the Premier League. And when you look at Liverpool's first 11, it looks at the moment it looks like Liverpool. Well, like when you first glance at it, it's not great from Liverpool's first team point of view. So, Robertson, Fabinho, and Keita are the only 3 who will be having a full pre-season of Liverpool's starting 11. Van Dijk's had 35 days. Apparently, Salah and Mane will have 2 weeks less. They're back in pre-season already, and they will be flying out to meet the lads in the US tour for the second. I think for the last couple of games. We played Dortmund tonight, missing that. But it's when you look at the depth that we were talking about before, that we've got Karius, Klein, Lallana, Milner, Moreno, Klavan, Gomez, Sturridge, all having full pre-seasons. Wijnaldum's had 35 days, Matip's had 36 days by the start of the season. The players who haven't, I mean, Alisson, 19 days pre-season for a goalkeeper. I mean,
he'd be fine.
He should be alright, shouldn't he? Firmino, he's a naturally fit fella already. We'll see how he gets on. I wouldn't be surprised, and I've said this last week, I wouldn't be surprised if Shaqiri starts the first game of the season, but having looked at that, apparently, I can't imagine that they're going to have this. They come back on the same day, to be fair, because Brazil went a bit further than Switzerland. So I would expect
just only the one round further though.
I know, but it's still a week, isn't it?
I guess.
I mean, if they come back on the same date, then I would expect Firmino to be starting, or Sturridge if he's fit.
Yeah.
At the time. But the point is, we've looked at Liverpool's here, so.
The squad's looking in good shape.
The squad overall is looking in good shape. We could have had a lot worse. We could have had City or Spurs.
Yeah, so City's and Spurs' players, all of them stayed in the World Cup for a long, long time. So not really many of them are having full pre-seasons with their respective managers.
Well, City's
full stop.
City's starting 11.
It's only Sané. And that's only because he didn't go to the World Cup.
And Mahrez, if you consider him starting, he won't be. But if you consider him,
he might be.
He might have to now. But what I mean is, if everyone's fully fit, Riyad Mahrez doesn't start the first game of the pre-season of the season. Sorry, for City. Whereas now he's forced his hand. Arsenal fans will be fucking livid if Mahrez scores against them on the first weekend of the season after all the times they were linked with him.
Yeah. That would be great.
But yeah, beside that, Spurs are looking in really bad nick. The longest anyone will have for pre-season, according to this, is 33 days to Son. For Son, that's nothing really. In terms of, what I mean is that's not that bad compared to the rest when it's
12,
all over the place. Basically, they're all coming back the week before the season starts.
Yeah.
Give or take 3 players, I think it is. So
even if they do come back earlier, that's less time off. That's more. They're going to be tired no matter what.
Spurs have a lot against them this summer. I mean, we've just said then haven't really signed anyone yet. They're looking at Zaha apparently. They're looking at Jack Grealish. They're going into the season. Their home ground isn't complete yet, so they're going in. They're going to be playing their first couple of games at Wembley. They're going to then go into a new stadium where none of them have played before. There's going to be very little of a home feel to it for a good couple of weeks straight away. I think Spurs. I'm not expecting Spurs to struggle this season, but I don't think by any stretch of the imagination Spurs come out the blocks flying.
No.
And I think you're looking at about October, November, where Spurs can kick on from, and by then you can be out of a title race.
You can, yeah.
By October, definitely.
I think that's what we need to take from this. We need to be able to put some distance between us and fuck everyone else. Manchester City. We need to be able to put some distance between us at the start of the season because we have a fitter squad. We will have a fitter squad come first day of the season. They are going to drop points. Because Manchester City cannot be as good as they were last year. They just can't.
I don't like that logic.
Arsenal's Invincibles lost the next season.
I know
these aren't as good. They can't.
I appreciate what you. I appreciate where you're coming from. They can
drop to 90 points, but we can get 95. I really, really, really believe that.
I appreciate where you're coming from, but the reasoning needs to be more solid than they just can't do it.
True. But okay, here's some reasoning then. Here's some reasoning, man. It's a year later. We have shown that they are beatable if you play a particular way. Huddersfield showed that they don't win all the time if you play a particular way as well. They haven't really changed much in their starting 11. It's going to be the same Manchester City team as last season, really. So teams know what to expect. Plus, at the start of the season, no matter what magic Pep Guardiola usually works to make his teams incredibly fit, they will not be as fit as us. They will not be as fit as Arsenal. They will not be as fit as Chelsea. They will not be as fit as United. They're going to drop some points. We need to make sure we capitalise on that. So we've got 4 games before the international break at the start of the season, all very winnable. Palace away looks a little bit tricky. West Ham at home looks a little bit tricky. But I think we can get 12 points on the board there, and I don't think City will. I really, really don't.
I understand where you're coming from, but to rebuttal,
sure.
Not every team can attack the way Liverpool can. Very few can.
Yeah,
very
few
in the world can.
Spurs tried to do what we did and got thumped 4-2, I think.
Yeah. You need to be at your best for 90 minutes, and you need to be fully fit to do it. Liverpool did it 3 times last season, and there's a method there. But Jurgen Klopp's done it repeatedly against Guardiola. He's shown it's not a fluke. He is a very good manager. He doesn't get the credit he deserves a lot of the time, just because normally people just think of him as, he's this fella who can start off with bargains and turn them into world beaters. There's so much more to Jurgen Klopp than that. He understands football primarily, and that's the most important bit of being a manager. He understands the game, and he understands what he's doing. And stopping Guardiola is something that Mourinho has tried and failed to do many a time. Klopp has succeeded a lot of the time with that. In the league, obviously, needs to go one step further. And the Huddersfield argument, when they played Huddersfield was scrapping for their lives, and City had won the title the week before. Mm-hmm. It's a different scenario completely, week in, week out. Well, City were already in cruising mode. All right, they was the day they were lifting the title, and maybe they should have wanted to go full throttle for it. But City didn't look the same. They weren't as quick. Their tempo wasn't as high. And you're looking at Huddersfield, and they were scrapping for their lives. And unless every team goes in with the intensity of Liverpool going forward or the intensity of Huddersfield going backwards, then City are going to have a good season again.
No, I'm not saying they're going to have a bad season.
No. But what I'm saying is, there's grounds there for City to have a similar season, and I'm not
possibly.
I'm not trying to put a dampener on Liverpool's transfer window at all, because Liverpool have done nothing but improve this window. We haven't lost anyone of note really who we care about.
When Klopp said, it's great because we've just bought loads of players and we've not lost anyone important or big. That's like, this is a massive fuck you to Emre Can, isn't it? I love it.
That's what I mean. Like, I forgot we lost Can. Like, as I said that, then I was like, I've forgotten so much. Like a grin spread across his face, and I was like, who the fucking hell am I forgetting about it? Emre Can. Yeah, but
don't even count.
Fabinho, fine.
Exactly.
Liverpool went out and we've replaced them straight away. All right, we could have done that with Coutinho, maybe a bit better, but I think on that, as a separate note, I think the reason we haven't replaced Coutinho is because I don't think Coutinho particularly fitted into what Klopp wanted to do.
Yeah.
And that's why we haven't got a direct replacement. And that's why Fekir was going to come in as the Coutinho, if you will. But I would assume he'd be a fella who works a lot harder than Coutinho ever did. I'm not saying Coutinho was lazy, but he wasn't a Jurgen Klopp footballer.
Yeah.
But sorry, away from that, Liverpool have enough there for us to suspect that we can start the season pretty well. Arsenal, not but green, basically, because
but they are shite. So
yeah, I mean, it's for them. It's all about how Lacazette and Aubameyang start the season.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you're an Arsenal fan, if those two start well, you can believe that they're going to have a good season. And also how they adjust to a new manager. Chelsea in somewhat of a mini crisis here, and it's
Schrodinger's team. I have no fucking idea what.
Yeah, exactly. It's really strange because you can't really see where it's come from in particular. Like, Abramovich has basically just went, I've had enough, and now the panic stations. Do you know what I mean? There are panic stations already for it. It's so weird that it's been coming and coming and coming, and I saw it happening with Terry and Lampard and Drogba left, and they went, no, all right, we're going to win the league, it's fine, and they won the league.
Yep.
Whereas now it's like, okay, what's the reasoning now? Is it Conte leaving? Because Conte was there for 2 years. You've replaced managers after that time before. Napoli's manager's coming in, never won a league title. He came close, awfully close last season to taking Juve off their perch, but it's interesting for Chelsea this season, and
I can't wait for them to fade away, to be honest. That's my sincere hope.
Sorry for the banging in the background. There's a dog playing with a bone.
I just really hope all their best players get signed and they just fade away, which would be nice because
it would be lovely.
Horrible club.
Yeah, it would be lovely.
Thing with United, if we're moving through the rest of the top six, I think this is Mourinho's last chance, like for the league. If he doesn't win the league this year, I think he's gone. Like, he'll either step down or the fans will just be have enough of the shite football that he makes them watch. It's crunch time, I think. I think
you were saying about City.
Yeah.
You were saying about City before that, like, teams will have sussed City. City are harder to suss.
I'm not saying teams will have sussed.
Well, you know what I'm saying. You know what I mean, though. You're saying teams will look to. Will have a template to work from.
Yes.
United, never more so than this season. Teams can look at United and see where you can get at United. The fullbacks are aging. The centre halves aren't particularly anything special. All right, Bailey's a good centre half. Chris Smalling's shite. Phil Jones is shite. Matic getting on. Pogba won't be coming back completely fresh because I'm sure he was leading the party for France.
Of course.
I'm sure he made himself the centre of attention. But you've got Alexis Sanchez, who's just turned 30, has he?
Yeah, I believe so.
Lukaku again played all the way to the third place playoff. He's not exactly what I would call the most athletic. Or strikes you as a bit lazy. Unless you actually watch him, he's not actually lazy. But
speak to an Everton fan, lad.
That's what I'm getting at, really. Everton fans will tell you he's lazy.
Shite.
But I mean,
he scores 20 odd goals every year, but his first touch is shite.
Did Martial not go to the World Cup? That's terrible. That.
Apparently he wants out. Don't blame him, but,
I can't imagine. I can't imagine so.
Oh, can we just stick a bit in, please?
It'd be funny. Like, I wouldn't want him. It wouldn't. Well, I would. I would.
Brilliant.
I would. When we were going through last week and saying who would you take off of United, I did say Martial.
Yeah.
But at this point now, I don't know where he'd fit in.
The rotation.
Yeah, but would he come to be a rotation piece in Liverpool at Liverpool instead of United?
Better than rotation at United.
I suppose so, and at least you get a manager who believes in you as well. Luke Shaw's come back. Speaking of that, Luke Shaw's come back like looking huge again as well. I'm sure Mourinho's going to batter him. But yeah,
He's huge.
But yeah, I mean, we've looked through everyone there. Liverpool look like, we could start the season pretty well. I mean, our overall quality doesn't drop much if we rotate the players. So I mean, if we look at, as I say, Alisson doesn't get a full pre-season, but he's coming. He's a goalkeeper. Goalkeepers don't have to be running around. They don't have to be at 100% all the time. Do you know what I mean? Alexander-Arnold probably won't start the season, but Nathaniel Klein's back. He's had a full pre-season now. This is a chance for Klein to build. Lovren will just be a straight swap for Matip. Henderson, who'd you put there? Lallana or Milner or Wijnaldum? Do you know what I mean? That's fine. And then you've got Firmino. He's naturally fit fella, as we've said.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty confident about this squad will be fit and firing and ready to go for the first game.
Definitely. We're gonna hit the ground running, I feel.
Yeah.
And if we can get a bit of ground on some other teams that perhaps won't hit the ground running as much, then we're in for a really, really good season, I think.
Yeah.
It's exciting. This squad is terribly exciting.
Yeah. Right, well, if we move on from there, we'll move backwards to last Thursday, and before Alisson was even confirmed, and when it was just just a waiting game.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about Liverpool playing Blackburn in the pre-season friendly. It was the most recent friendly. Liverpool played Dortmund tonight, as I've mentioned. But before we flew out to the States, we beat Blackburn 2-0 at Ewood Park, and both of us were very, very impressed with one fella in particular, and that's Naby Keita, who, we've been waiting for this for a year now.
I'm so excited to see him play football. He's so good.
He is a cut above everybody.
He was heads and shoulders best player on the pitch.
He is a cut above. He just the pressure he puts on the ball from an attacking point of view. Do you know what I mean? It's exactly what you want from a midfielder. He is the first line of the midfield press. There's Firmino in front of him going into this season. It'll be Firmino in front of him doing the pressing. But you feel like with Keita, the fact that Sturridge maybe can't do the pressing that you want him to do isn't that big an issue when you've got someone like Keita who's willing to cover the ground and then pick the pass out the way he does.
And if you have Lallana as well, pressing like that, then that's a lot of energy coming from midfield.
Yeah.
But Keita's performance against Blackburn, just pressing like an absolute madman, winning the ball, moving forward in midfield, and just picking out some amazing passes to Daniel Sturridge. He skied quite a few, but he finally finished one, which was very nice.
Yeah, well, that'll come back with Sturridge.
Well, Klopp's already said they work on finishing last in pre-season.
It's ring rust, isn't it? Sorry, Jamie's just doing an absolutely fucking terrible job of stopping the dog. Yeah, I mean,
the dead eye's being shot here.
It'll come with time. He's not been fit for a good while. If he can get a full pre-season and he can stay clear, then we're looking hopefully at Sturridge being able to be available and be an option, which we sorely missed at times last season. I know we picked up a couple of goals here and there, but he wasn't the same Sturridge, even slightly. And
no.
We've both already said as well, who would you prefer on the bench coming off in a league title challenging season? Who would you prefer, Solanke or Sturridge? And it's Sturridge. It's got to be Sturridge. And I think Sturridge is smart enough to know that if he sticks around this season and if he can chip in with 10 goals this season, Liverpool are going to be in a very good position. in terms of challenging for a title.
Yeah.
So,
thing is, with Kaiser's performance, though, I cannot wait to see him play behind our fast guys.
Yeah.
Like, just the passes he could put forward to Mane and Salah. Cannot wait.
I think he'll come into his own in big games in particular, because I mean he forced mistakes from the players, and don't get me wrong, but away from home that'll come in handy, and in the big games as well, when we're playing teams who aren't necessarily going to be sitting back and do you know what I mean? That'll be playing a bit more expansive. The Tottenhams of the world, for example, when we put Tottenham's back four under pressure last year at Anfield, both times they just crumbled. And if Keita, and I mean we both spoke about it before, if Keita can do it, if Lallana can do it, if Wijnaldum can do it, then Liverpool have a pretty consistent pressing game no matter who's playing.
Yeah.
Which is massively important for what Jurgen Klopp wants to do.
And there's no drop off in that pressing if we want to rotate, which is what we needed last year, really.
Yeah, exactly. Fabinho as well, by the way. What a fucking footballer he looks like. He looks like a classy bastard, him.
He's huge as well.
Yeah,
I had no idea who
him and Van Dijk, man. Honest to God, him and Van Dijk. I was so impressed with Van Dijk as well, now I've mentioned him.
His passing out from the back was so good.
Not even just his passing, mate. It's a pre-season friendly, and he's telling people where to go, and he's just taking control of the game, and he's just the captain in all but wearing the armband.
It's that spine in action.
It is that spine in action, and it's great to see. And I can't wait until it's fully back. It's such an exciting time. It really is. So, I mean, is there anything else you want to cover this week? We've covered pretty much everything I want to talk about.
Pretty much, I think.
Yeah. Danny Ward's now, I think, the 12th most expensive goalkeeper of all time.
How we got Shaqiri for Daniel Ward and a packet of crisps is incredible transfer business. The most impressive thing on that is the 20% sell-on clause. That's
because
fantastic.
Danny Ward, Liverpool clearly believe Danny Ward could be a good goalkeeper in the future, but he's going to have another 10 years where he could be a Premier League goalkeeper. If Kasper Schmeichel leaves, he will be Leicester's number one going into the season. I mean, if he goes about it with the right attitude, and he is as impressive for Leicester as he has been for Huddersfield, as he has been for Aberdeen, then Liverpool will make good money on that. And we could see that £12.5 million transfer turning into a £20 million transfer if transfer prices keep going up the way they are. Do you know what I mean? Liverpool have already single-handedly drove the goalkeeper market up to a stupid level. Do you know what I mean?
It's brilliant, though, isn't it?
It is. We've single-handedly increased our profits in the future as well. It's well done, Liverpool. Any other outgoings this week? Ryan Kent is going out on loan to Rangers as well, which is a bit of a shame. So I wanted to see either him or Harry Wilson stay. Both of them have fucked off.
Hopefully it means Woodburn staying, though.
Well, I would expect Woodburn to be staying anyway. I think it'd be interesting what happens with Shea Joe. It'd be interesting to see what happens with Lazar Markovic.
I was going to say, can someone just fucking buy him?
I know we've spoke about him earlier a little bit, but with Markovic, this is literally his last fight. It's
not. It is far beyond. How many years has he been here for?
Yeah.
He's not good enough.
Yeah, I would completely agree with that.
So he just needs to go.
I completely agree with that, but if Jurgen Klopp has took him on the tour, Danny Ings hasn't gone.
No, but we know we're selling Danny Ings, and that's not because he doesn't like Danny Ings. It's because they've had that conversation and Danny Ings wants to leave. Yeah,
and that's fair. But the point I'm making is, if you wanted Markovic out the club, you get rid of him. You don't have to take him to the US.
I guess
you keep Ryan Kemp for a couple of weeks. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? You don't need that extra player there. I think there's enough there in Markovic. There's a talented footballer in there somewhere, and if anyone can get that player, it will be Jurgen Klopp.
Yeah, maybe. I think he's been here too long. I just don't think he's good enough.
That's fair.
He's been here under a couple of managers now, and they've both not thought he's good enough. They've both sent him out on loan.
Yeah, and that's fair. I don't personally think he's good enough. I completely agree, but I'm trying to read what Klopp's doing. I know Klopp has oppressed him for just playing with what he's got there, but
yeah,
I mean, there's an argument to say that Salah and Mane coming in will mean Markovic won't get a minute in pre-season for the rest of it. Do you know what I mean? But I just don't know why he'd have taken him otherwise. I just think there's the minutes he's getting are precious for somebody. Do you know what I mean? And he put a shift in the other day. I'm not saying he was good, but he put a shift in.
He did. He was enthusiastic if rubbish.
Took his goal very well,
which is ironically what is going to go on my gravestone. I've already got it all drawn up. But yeah. He put himself about.
Yeah,
he wasn't very good.
He took his chance very well. He put pressure on, which is exactly what Jurgen Klopp will be asking for anybody. And I'm not saying that he's going to start league games or come on in the league games, but he's a League Cup option. And
yeah, maybe.
How long's he got left on his contract? Is it a year, 2 years?
God knows.
If he's got a year left, Liverpool are going to lose money on him anyway. No one wants to buy him at this point. He needs to make himself. Maybe that's it. It's putting him in the shop window. Maybe it's look at what you could have. I mean, if Liverpool were going to loan him out this year, I'd much rather have seen him go to Rangers than Ryan Kent, because I think Ryan Kent needs someone to work with at Anfield, whereas Markovic, he'd probably do really, really well in Scotland.
Probably,
but, yeah. He's probably not going to get on with Xherdan Shaqiri either.
No.
Neither is Marko Grujic. I'll be interested to see what happens with Grujic as well. I
feel like he's going to go back out online.
Yeah, I would be surprised if Cardiff don't at least revisit the option. Maybe he'll stay, and maybe some of these players will just have to suck it up if they want to be part of something in long term at Liverpool, and wait for their opportunity to come by. I don't think Klopp will take the chance of being left as bare as he has been. With injuries in the past, but we will see. Right, we're just under the hour. I think that's pretty good. Gone forward. Oh, there was one thing I wanted to. We're going to talk about. Jurgen Klopp has said probably not going to be any more transfers this window.
Yeah, that's fair. Spent a lot of money.
Yeah, and the
Nabil Fekir is obviously more complicated than it should have been.
Yeah,
and as we said, it's main man or nothing. So maybe it's nothing.
Yeah, I am surprised that there's a youngster in Germany, Max Meyer, who's out of contract with Schalke, and at one point he was going to be the next big thing, and Klopp rated him very highly. We were linked last summer with him. Nothing's materialised. I'm surprised Liverpool haven't at least looked at going back in for him if we don't do anything else this window, purely because it's a free transfer. Fekir, I understand the frustration some fans are feeling, because as we said, like, he would have been the Coutinho replacement, if you like. But if something is not right in that medical, why would you want Liverpool to go out and spend 50-60 million pound or whatever it's going to end up costing Liverpool? Why would you want Liverpool to go out and spend that on somebody who might be injured after 2-3 games? Yeah,
especially with Oxlade-Chamberlain out for so long. You don't really want to take a risk on ACLs or MCLs or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
They are horrendous injuries.
No, exactly. I trust the transfer committee these days. I never used to. I do now. Because we're finally fucking spending money. We're finally at the top table where we belong in terms of spending power, if you like. No one is spending money like Liverpool are this summer.
It's great.
Except for maybe Real Madrid when they sat on Hazard this week.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Oh, and one other thing we forgot to talk about.
As we do.
As we always do. Is the ticket sale.
I feel like that's because we just try to forget every year.
Yeah.
Just about the horrors of that fucking website. And those IBM servers that are definitely made of potatoes, and the lack of communication, and just the general shit show that is buying tickets for Liverpool.
Yep. So basically, I mean, me and Matt have been members for years now. we've covered this last season on the Master Experience podcast. We were talking about buying tickets, how easy it is, how difficult it is. So me and Matt, going into this sale, had full priority, which entitled us to the Tuesday sale. So basically we got 8 of the 10 games available on Tuesday, and then we're involved in a free-for-all on Thursday to try and get tickets for Fulham and Cardiff. Which, the fact that we have to do this twice a year is bad enough already. I'd rather us, honest to God, I'd rather us have to do this like on a match by match basis, because I hate having to just shell out 200 quid in July, 200 quid in November. It's a fucking joke that Liverpool have left it like this. Like, even if Liverpool introduced a system where you paid off each month or something like that, like, they have payment plans for how the what's it called, the season tickets get paid off.
Oh yeah, so season tickets they're treated much better than those regular members. Why would that ever change?
The problem is that Liverpool football clubs seem to be clinging on to this season ticket idea as I say Liverpool football clubs in general seem to be clinging on to season ticket holders as they are your prime, if you like, and they are the ones that deserve to have all this priority kind of thing.
And they're your core fan base.
Yes, should we say? That's fine, and I'm not trying to discount season ticket holders. I would be one myself if any were available, but that is literally the problem with how modern football goes now. Liverpool isn't a club anymore where you can rock up on the door and buy a ticket. We're talking about, we're in July and I've just had to buy tickets for the end of December, and the fact that we have to go through this rigmarole every season, twice every season, there's no justifiable reason for it at all.
We are season ticket holders, basically. Yeah. But we just treated so much worse, and we have to go through these horrible ticket sales. And if it was just all priority, sales, all 10 games for the priority people, that would be so much better. But that Thursday sale every single fucking year, putting people who have been to every game the last season in with the people who are trying to get there first. Yeah. And I'm not saying anything against people who are trying to get tickets to their first game. I don't want to be in the same queue as them, is the thing. Because demand far outweighs supply. The servers always crash because there's always unprecedented amounts of demand for these tickets.
Unprecedented.
How could it be unprecedented every single year? Just upgrade your fucking servers, and stagger it and separate us out, and just have different levels of priority maybe. So people who went to literally every single game last year, then one game less, then one game less, then one game less.
I don't even think it needs to be one game less. I think if you did it in 2 stages, so you start on 17, for example, rather than 19, and then you go to 15, and then 13. And then down to 10. Fine. Yeah. And then you go to 7 after that. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be... I'm not asking for a game by game, but I'm asking for more than a 2-stage priority system. So at the moment it goes... This season, was it 13? 13, then 4. I mean, there were fellas on Twitter complaining that they had 11 games from last season. 11 games at full price in the main stand at 50 quid a ticket. That's 500.
They should be entitled to a bit more priority than someone who's been 4.
Yeah, and that's fine. And I understand that people will be listening to this. I hope people will be listening to this anyway. But I want people who are listening to this to get to their first game if they've never been before, and that's fine.
Of course.
And I'm not trying to besmirch that, but what I am trying to say is that you can't rock up with a membership. You can't just buy a membership the day before and have the same amount of priority as somebody who's been going for the last 4 years, slowly but surely collecting games, which we've had to do in the past. It wasn't a case for me and Matt, definitely, of, what we're going to do is we're going to buy every game this season, and then next season we'll have priority.
It was a slow build.
Yeah, I think I started off with 6 games in my first season, maybe 7, Then the year after, I think I got 11. Year after that, I went back down, I think. And then slowly but surely
I was quite lucky.
There.
I think I got 13 in my second season. So then I qualified for full priority, and then I've just kept it since.
I mean, even then, do you remember, I had to, like, literally buy tickets for you without your... Like, and ask you afterwards.
Yeah.
There was a sale on, I think it was, like, for returns. I literally logged on, bought Matt a ticket and went, Matt, are you alright if I buy you a ticket? I went, it's alright, if not, I'll sell it on, but I'll find someone to go with me instead. Yeah. But it was...
But it's fucking hard work, and loyalty like that should be rewarded, and at the minute it's not. The system, it does not work.
It baffles me how Liverpool a couple of years ago made the step of getting rid of what was called categorisation, which Liverpool, for those of you who never had to go through the old system, Liverpool would have a ticket sale in which they'd have Category A games, Category B games and Category C games. So the Category A was the prime games, the top six and Everton. But yeah, it was the games everyone wanted to go to. Yep. Then the middle tier was the games that are normally classics, so Newcastle, normally good to go to, not classics but good to go to, so Newcastle, West Ham, Southampton,
Villa when they were alright.
Villa, exactly. The mid-table Premier League staples, if you like. And then Category C was usually your promoted
your relegation
teams.
Fodder, your shite.
Yeah, exactly. Your promoted teams, the relegation fodder. This season, for example, it's Cardiff and Fulham. In all but name.
Yeah.
That's the point I'm making here, sorry, is that categories haven't really gone away. They've just gone away in name. So, for example, Tuesday, we could buy tickets for United and Everton. Whereas Wednesday, United and Everton wasn't available for people with 4 games, I don't think, was it?
No, it was. Yeah.
But, alright.
But United and Everton weren't available for the Thursday sale.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I was after, sorry, yeah. So, it's gone away in the fact that they've got rid of one of the categories, sorry.
The thing with the categories was they changed the prices, which was not on.
Yeah, and that's fair enough, and I understand that aspect of it. But you can't get rid of categorisation and say that these games aren't as important, because that was basically what the pricing was doing back then. The pricing was going, okay, so United is more important than Burnley, and obviously, at the end of the day, it might be better for fans to go to. But when it boils down to what it actually means, it's 3 points for Liverpool Football Club or United or Burnley. Do you know what I mean? It's the same value to the club, and yet now it's slightly different in the fact that they've turned around and said, all right, well, it costs you the same amount, but nobody cares about going to that game, so anyone can go to it, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean, for Fulham and Cardiff? And I think it's just it's having categorisation in there without having it, so you can.
This is annoying,
and I understand that people need these games to develop their priority, if you will. Some people need to get those 2 games here. I assume there's going to be one on unofficial category scene in the second half of the season, maybe 2.
Yeah.
If there's 2, then that's the 4 games that you'd need to get into the next sale above, and that's fair enough. If you can get into both sales and both Thursday sales and get the tickets you need, then you'll have enough priority for the next season to then develop a little bit further. In a perfect world.
Well, in a perfect world, they would have been able to get 6? Yeah, 6 tickets this just this sale.
Yeah.
So that would already qualify for the next 4.
The argument that I would have is that those games, and obviously you've already said it as well, is that those games shouldn't be taken away from priority holders. We shouldn't have to queue up. It's already, like, I was off on Tuesday. I took Tuesday off purely, for 2 reasons. One, I wanted the day off, and but the main reason was because I know how infuriating the ticket sales can be in the morning. And luckily, Tuesday morning, we got sorted. We were done by 9 o'clock.
Yeah, because it was the priority sale.
Because it was the priority sale.
Like, less people try to get on, because
A lot of people don't understand the rules. I still get asked sometimes, like, what days, which is the best way to get tickets and stuff like that. It's all on the website.
Go on the website and learn to read.
If you go on the website, it's all available there to you. If you are building up priority going forward, I would honestly suggest, rather than trying the Thursday sales, you hold on until the local member sale or the general sale comes on. It is available for every game these days.
Yeah, and they're quite easy to get through.
Yeah, they are.
You'll be up in the gods in the main stand, but like you probably will get a ticket.
I mean, as I say, it is available for local general sale, and it's for those of you who don't have an L postcode, that's obviously not convenient. But there are still tickets available for most games if you look at the right time. Yep. And if you check on the website, and if you're serious about developing priority, then these are the opportunities you have to take. Because, I mean, Jamie, for example, built up air priority literally just by going on the site like 4 or 5 weeks before each game, and each sale's on there. You build up your priority that way instead. It's a lot more straightforward for yourselves. I'm not trying to say clear off so we can get on, which obviously is what it's coming across as. But
what needs to happen is there needs to be a change in how these are sold.
Yeah, and
it really, really does.
Liverpool needs to have somebody involved in talking to the fans about this, because we have a fan liaison officer in Tony Barrett. Tony Barrett is insistent that this is not his job, and it's not something that he involves himself in. Ticket sales. If you are going to be,
can we get just a ticket sales officer then?
Well, this is the thing. If you're going to be the liaison between the club and the fans, I mean, there's not really a closer link than people who go to game. Do you know what I mean? Like that's the first level of communication between the club and the fans. Surely, is that the ticket sales have to be spot on. So I don't quite understand how it doesn't involve them at all. But like the club needs somebody to be listening to this, and I feel like if they send out the matchday experience surveys, don't they, and the emails all the time, don't they? And they're like, "Oh, did you enjoy your time at Anfield? How often did you go to Anfield?" But they don't really send one out after your ticket sales.
Oh, they should, but no. They won't like what comes back.
Well, that's fine. But they need to not like what comes back, because at the moment they don't really understand the fucking effort that people have to go to just watch Liverpool Football Club.
But what is their... why do they need to do something? All the tickets still get sold. All the tickets still get sold. It sells out, they get their money.
Yeah.
There's no need for them to do anything, and that's one of the most frustrating things, because these tickets will still get sold. Like we got all our tickets. We went through hell to do it, but we got them.
Yeah.
It's a nightmare every time, but the tickets get sold. Maybe it's a cynic in me, but does the club care?
A lot of people are going to be not buying memberships going forward, though. A lot of people. I've seen a lot of people who've just jacked it in because they just can't be arsed.
Probably more people buying memberships than are going to leave. So again, do the club care? That's
one thing that the club needs to do. Really, is the club need to cotton on to how many memberships they've got going, and realise that it's not sustainable to offer this many out. But I mean, if you're going to have, how many members do you reckon Liverpool got? 50,000? Maybe more? 100,000?
Yeah. There's 50,000 seats. If every member got a seat, that'd be sound.
And if we average it between the people who get the full membership and the people who get the light membership, if we say that's 30 quid. So, yeah, they're not going to turn down 3 million quid they just get in that. Yeah, I don't know what to do, what to recommend Liverpool do going forward about it, because as long as there's arses on the seats.
Well, the only way that we can do anything to maybe try and enact changes, like if all of the fans that make noise are the ones that gibbet, then they won't have their atmosphere to sell, and then they'll have to do something. But then we've all jibbed it, and we don't have priority, and we can't do anything.
Yeah. No one. You have to take a massive. You have to take a massive stand and turn around and say, I am giving up what has taken me so long to develop, and that's something that a lot of Liverpool fans aren't willing to do at all. Myself included, to be fair. I will fucking die with this priority.
To prize it out of my cold, dead hands.
Yeah, it's one of them, I guess. So I think that's a good place to end it there. So that's been this week's The Story of a Poor Boy. Hopefully next week we can talk to you about all the pre-season games, all the pre-season's goings on of the US tour, and maybe Jurgen Klopp has lied to us. We'll see. I doubt it very much, but you never know. Thanks very much for listening. If you could like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, like us on YouTube, subscribe to us on YouTube, subscribe to us on Spotify, iTunes, Podbean. And I'm sure this will end up on Reddit somewhere. If it doesn't get deleted, listen to it on there as well.
Thank you, mods.
Thank you very much indeed.
Cheers, guys.